I'm going to show you a quick demonstration on doing a Weatherpack crimp and installation. First thing we have here is strippers, crimping tool. And you can see this has some open jaws. These are circled. Number 1 and number 5 are kind of round, and then 2, 3, and 4 are actually the crimping side, depending on the wire and the terminal fitting. We have some soldering gun, Weatherpack male fitting, female fitting, but it's the male terminal, and they always go by the male terminal. So this is actually called the male terminal, even though the male plugs into this side. So it's basically just the opposite. Always by wiring is always by the terminal end. Male terminal will go into the female housing. Go figure. You'll also notice that the terminal has a couple different sets of ears. These are for pinching the seal, which will sit in here like that, and this is what's going to crimp the wire itself. First thing we're going to do is we're going to strip about 1/4 inch, 3/16 of a 1/4 inch off the wire, and I'm using a number 16 here. And the next thing we're going to do before we go further is put the seal on, and we want the shoulder of the seal, or the male end of the seal, pointing towards the end where the fitting is. And we're going to slide that down and get that out of our way. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to take the crimper, and I'm going to use the number 3 for this terminal, and I'm going to put this fitting in so that the open jaws go towards the curved end, so because it's going to pinch the wire like this. So that's ready, and then we're going to insert our wire, and we want the wire to go in, just stop before the insulation gets into the crimp zone, and then we're going to apply some pressure, crimp that wire, pull the fitting out, and that part we're good, and it's in there. At this point I like to do a little bit of solder just to make sure that it's tight, and I don't have a problem with it coming out later on, so I'll use some really fine solder, and I'm going to heat up the terminal end just to get it hot enough, and then I'll just tin the connection just like that, not much. So you can see we've just tinned it just a little tiny bit, and that way I know that this is not going to be pulling out if somebody grabbed the wires and pulled it, because I've seen them where somebody thinks they did a good crimp and yeah, everything works, but you grab that wire and it pulls out and you end up taking it apart anyway. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put this seal up, and that just sits in there like this, and I pinch these together just to give them a little bit of a head start. And then we're going to grab our crimper again, and it has the rounded edge. I'm going to use the larger between number 1 and number 5. I'm going to use the larger end for this, and I'm just going to set it over there, just kind of like the crimp again. You don't have to push as hard, just give it a gentle squeeze, and then it'll bring those two ends nicely together. And there's your fitting, or your terminal, excuse me. Then we're going to take our terminal block. The wire goes in from the back side where this is like hinged open, and basically you just push it in, it snaps, and it won't pull out, and it's in there. And you fill the rest of the cavities if you want, or you put plugs in them, snap that down and plug it in, you're ready to go. All right, the tool for getting a Weatherpack fitting out, or terminal, whether it's male or female, is one of these things. These walls are very thin, they're very easy to bend or ruin, so be cautious. Maybe get a couple of them just to have them on hand. And basically this will go in over the terminal. You kind of push it down and then straight, and then pull your fitting out, and you're ready to go. You can do a repair if you have to cut or make a change. They have these little ears on them that you can just kind of come in and and bend out. Make sure that they're away from the barrel itself. And then when you put it back in, it's tight. And that's pretty much all there is to it.